Crutchfield, who had been injured parachuting from Miss Bobby, fell to the ground. Bill Brooks went to his rescue. Before Brooks got there, Crutchfield was shot dead, and Bill Brooks of Cohoes was shot by Nazi soldiers on February 28, 1945. The Nazis left the bodies there, but a priest later took them to a nearby Protestant cemetery. Bill Brooks was buried in grave number 8. Pilot J. DeBoer walked out of the Italian Alps, but the best bombardier he ever had didn't get home until 1948, when the body of Bill Brooks of Cohoes was shipped home for burial. But now, 50 years later, he rests in the Alps forever, the symbol of American heroism and the gratitude of a nation. This is Liz Bishop reporting from Dro in the Italian Alps. This is the final resting place of First Officer William Brooks of Cohoes. He was barely 23 years old when his world literally came crashing down around him. When his B-25 bomber took a hit during some fierce fighting over the Italian Alps during World War II, Brooks and the rest of his crew parachuted to safety. But fate wasn't fair to Bill Brooks. While he did land safely, he was captured by the Germans and senselessly shot and killed by SS troops. 50 years later, here in the shadow of the Italian Alps, Bill Brooks will live forever. With this monument, the young man from Cohoes has become a symbol for every American who risked his life for others during World War II. Today on News Center 6 Sunday morning, a story of courage and compassion and love, of murder and madness that has led to an eternal tribute and a very special thank you from the people of Italy.
From the #1 news team in the Capital District, this is News Center 6, Sunday morning.
Tears and gratitude mixed with memories here in this tiny village in the Italian Alps called Dro. On Sunday, hundreds of people, Italians, Germans, and Americans, came together to say thank you to America. And they did it in the name of two men, two handsome, young, blonde-haired Americans. Flight Officer William Brooks, a kid from Cohoes with a heart as big as the Alps themselves, and his fellow crewman, Lieutenant Lucian Crutchfield from San Antonio, Texas.
With their blood, Lucian Crutchfield and William Brooks have become a symbol.
Lorenzo Pisoni was 7 years old when Bill Brooks from Cohoes parachuted down from his burning B-25 bomber into the hands of the Germans in Vizzano, Italy in 1945. Larry Pisoni has spent his entire life remembering.
I could see 6 or 7 parachutes open, but my first memory was when I saw them in the town square. And I saw them close enough. Of course, I was just 7 years old, so to me they look even bigger than they actually must have been. But I thought they looked like giants almost. And, to me, a very good-looking one was tall and blonde. I remember that. And their faces seemed to be different somehow, just open, clean, open faces, and really, I like their expression. And of course, being the first Americans, I thought, who knows how an American looks like? And the Nazi fascist propaganda would just depict them as mean monsters. Of course, they were bombing us, so I thought they must be. Instead, seeing them so nice, and it really changed my mind all of a sudden. And learning that they were killed the following day, it really shocked me, shocked my parents and everyone in the valley. But what made us stick out was the fact that as we drove by, which happened very frequently, especially in the summer, we'll go to the lake, and my parents always will point out, this is the place where these two Americans were killed. So it's been all my life, that I associate it until I decided to do something with this little memorial last spring.
And it was last year because you knew it was the 50-year anniversary?
Yes.
And what did you do?
I just stopped all of a sudden with the car because, even when it must have been like some sort of destiny, because even if I was playing the radio, I would turn it off. I said, this is where they were killed. So I said, okay, now I've been saying this for 50 years, and maybe I should do something about it, Then I decided I would build just a little plaque or something, my own project, hoping I will get permission to do something like that. That's how it started, last May.
And you thought this was something that you would undertake completely yourself, financially?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And yet everyone wanted to get involved?
Well, and I didn't know that because when I started talking to people, I realized that, of course, the Americans were very favorable. They thought it was very noble. And the Italians, I thought, after 50 years, people have totally forgotten. Think how many people die on the streets or so forth, car accidents, or how many Italians have died in the war. Instead, talking to people, I realized how many people were feeling it like I was.
We'll be back after this. Navigator Robert Cravey learned firsthand about the generosity of the Italian people. His life depended on it. This is the home where Bob Cravey was hidden from the Nazis by an Italian family who put his life before their own safety.
I jumped out behind him, and when I did, I looked up, and here was the co-pilot, Lucian Crutchfield, who was one of the boys killed on the road out here.